Hey guys, this is Tali Berman, and today what I want to talk to you about is how to deal with conflict in your relationship when you have a child with autism, or in general, conflict in a relationship. And I'm going to do this in a two-part video series because I know this is something that many families really talk about, really struggle with. And let me just set the context here. I just had a consultation with a wonderful family that I work with, and we talked about the conflict that comes up in their relationship on a daily basis, where it just keeps butting heads, keep butting heads, and keep butting heads. And so today I want to share with you the paradigm shift that will really help begin to turn this around. So here's what happens in their family, which I'm sure is something that comes up in your family. They're truly trying to help their son with his self-injurious behavior. So he might hit his head, bang his head, or bite himself, for example. And oftentimes what happens is it comes up in a situation where in a daily part of the activity, part of the daily life, they have very different ideas about how things should be done. So whether it's getting him out the house in the morning, whether it's about brushing his teeth, whether it's about helping him to get dressed, they both have very different ideas about what's the most effective way to help their son move through or gain the skills in those areas. So they're constantly fighting about it. And they're fighting about it and they're creating a conflict. And in the midst of that conflict, their son begins to bite himself or bang his head, or show some response to the fact that they're in conflict, which is creating kind of chaos and confusion in that very moment. And it happens every day throughout the day. So what I'm going to do in the next video is give you some really clear strategies. Before I give you the clear strategies, I want to give you the real paradigm shift. And the paradigm shift is this. The mom has very clear ways that she wants things to get done based on what she thinks is best for her son. The father has very clear ways he thinks things should be done because of his best interest in mind, which is also his son, but the ideas are different. And I'm sure this happens, and I know this happens with many families. So what we talked about is, this is it. How do you know which one we should do? What's more effective? How are we going to help our son? And I want to completely look at it differently. And the paradigm shift is this. And I wrote this down. To prioritize harmony in your home as the best way to support your child. What I mean by that is the exact way that certain things get done is actually ultimately significantly less important and less influential than the fact that you prioritize having harmony in that situation over the very specific way that he brushes his teeth, he gets dressed in the morning, or he gets out the door. Because, as we know, our children are so sensitive. They feel and they sense everything. So the moment that conflict arises, and then both parents, the mom and dad, become in conflict about that, start arguing about that, create confusion around that, that in and of itself is going to get in your child's way. It's going to create stress. It's going to create anxiety, which will only increase self-injurious behaviors, if that's an issue your child has, but also make it much harder for your child to learn any skill you're wanting him to learn, because he's just in the mode right now of dealing, of coping, of dealing with his own stress and anxiety in the midst of that conflict. But when we can create harmony in the home, then your child can relax, can let his defenses down, and that's where he and all of us are in their optimal learning situation. So both for your child's developmental growth, spiritual growth, emotional well-being, what I really want to urge you today is, number one, to consider that harmony, the actual emotional experience you create in the home, is going to make a bigger impact on your child's growth and development in every way than the specific strategy implemented to get something done or to achieve a skill. So the first part in making a real change is recognizing what's our priority here, what's the biggest intention, what's going to make the biggest impact. So what I really want to talk about today is that idea of prioritizing harmony. In the next video, I'm going to talk about specific ways of how to do that, but it has to first come from making that the priority. It has to first come from making that the intention, to recognize that if I can create peace and harmony, that's going to help my child most. It's going to help him feel most relaxed, more at ease, more confident, and more able and open to learn in every way and engage in relationships. So my challenge for you today, my task for you today, is to scroll down, and if this message resonates with you, to write these exact words. I've written it down. I choose to prioritize harmony in my home to best support my child. I choose to prioritize harmony in my home to best support my child. Scroll down. If this resonates with you, type those words in and press submit. That will help you solidify it for yourself, help solidify that intention. And the next video, I will tell you exactly how you can do that. So if you're watching this anywhere other than my blog, please hop over to www.taliberman.com, scroll down and type in, I choose to prioritize harmony in my home to best support my child.